Oh my god, it's the year I was born. And it's blue pipes. And it's Nintendo. And it's more blue pipes. And I've got my buddy with me here, Klaesick. And it's a blue box.
Oh my god, guys, it's Legend of Zelda, my favorite game!
This isn't Zelda. Does that look like an Octorok to you? Actually, it kind of does.
Yes!
It's Super Metroid! Oh, this is one of my favorite games of all time. And I'm crazy freaking pumped to play this.
Who do you prefer,
man.
Samus or Doom Guy?
Say what?
Who do you prefer, Samus or Doom Guy?
Good point. Good question. Samus has more characterization. I don't know. I guess I'd say Samus, all things considered. As sacrilegious as it is being on a Doom channel. I like her better as a character, if that makes any sense.
Doom Guy is more of an avatar for the protagonist, for the player to put themselves into. He's not really a character.
That's true.
And like the only characterization he has in like Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal is that he's just like really angry.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Now, if you
he doesn't really have much outside of that. So
if you were to give me the option between Samus and like Rowdy Rudy, now that might be a competition.
The last Metroid is in captivity.
Unskippable cutscene. Unskippable cutscene.
Actually, I think you can skip it, but I don't want to because
I don't think you can. From what I've played this, you can't skip it. You can fast forward the text, but you can't skip it.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so I'm pressing B and I actually can't do this. So I'm sure everyone knows this. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My mistake.
I prefer Samus as a character, but I prefer like Doom's Monster over like, Metroid's. I think Metroid's a bit lackluster.
Well, I mean, they're
not that it's bad. I prefer the bosses of Metroid, but
I mean, the emphasis of Doom is more explicitly on the combat. I think its modern mappers have made exploration more of a part of it, whereas Metroid is much more about the atmosphere and the world exploration, so to speak, and it's more of an interconnected experience. Though I have played around with the idea of like what a Metroid game in the Doom engine would be like.
I think there is some mods.
Oh yeah, there's a mod, but I'm thinking about like a campaign with like connected exits and like a loadable different sections of the world and so forth, kind of like an upper Meridia and a lower Brinstar and things like that.
That could be interesting.
I guess you could use the Hexen engine as a base, since that uses like a hub system, so to speak. But I don't know enough about the engine to like modify it. I just love this image of like Giger-style super soldier Samus like shaking some old scientist's hand. She's like, "Thank you, Samus, for giving us this little alien pod." I don't know, I just always thought that was a funny image. Anyway. But no, she's a cool character, she's cool-headed, she's, confident and a badass, so, but, yeah, they're different games, and Doom definitely has better combat, but I think this is more focused on the exploration explicitly. And this does have some pretty cool bosses, which Doom kind of lacks.
I would like to see like a fusion, if they ever do like a mod of fusion of Doom and Metroid in a way.
Oh, sure.
Kind of like what Bloom did, where you have like Samus in like green armor or whatever, and then you have like, I don't know, let's say Ridley's combined with like the Cyber Demon or whatever.
That could be pretty cool, kind of like a Bloom, like the mod Bloom style, like mashup.
Except the protagonists are combined as well,
Hell yeah, that'd be crazy cool. Oh man.
Yeah. I
alright.
prefer the split protagonists in Bloom, but if they did a Metroid, like, Doom fusion, I think the protagonist could be fused pretty easily.
Absolutely. Also, I've got to get used to the control scheme here, so A is jump. Oh man, I forgot about that. I should have rebounded my keys.
Yeah.
But
I usually do the moonwalk thing too, so...
Yeah, the jump... The only complaint I really have about this game is that the jump is kind of non-intuitive. The wall jump, that is. And it's kind of hard to pull off. Also, I'm gonna glow a lot about this game, just so you know. I just love everything about this. Like, the opening atmosphere, and the only thing you hear is like a low hum in the background. and you've got these big canisters. It really is like the opening to the movie Alien, if people have seen that. Which, have you seen that by any chance? I don't know if I've asked you that.
I have not seen Alien personally, but my sister did see it.
Oh, it's so good. Ma'am? Pardon me, ma'am? Are you okay? Is everything alright? Are you... Hey, are you okay? Madam?
You're just making me think. You know, Samus is a big badass, but deep down she does really care.
Sir. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. I'm sure they're fine. You're probably just sleeping. Oh man, I don't want to tell you what to do, but you should watch Alien. It's a really, really good horror film.
I did watch The Shining. I do have like a list of movies I wanted to watch. I think it was Taxi Driver, Apocalypse Now, and Alien. And I'll put that on the list.
Oh, it's Ridley. I'm sorry.
It's Samus's arch nemesis.
He's a big lizardman. He's a big fat lizard.
He's not a lizard. He's a pterosaur.
Fair enough. He's a robot pterosaur thing.
Yes, and remember, pterosaurs are a separate order from dinosaurs.
Yes, which
not the same.
Absolutely, which a lot of people mistake. I wonder how closely pterosaurs are related to birds. Probably not closely at all. They're probably a completely different like genus. Where'd he go? Ah! There he goes! Oh shit, we gotta get out of here.
Oh shit, man. Thank you, Samus!
I'm sorry guys, I gotta leave, you gotta go, I'm sure it'll be fine, bye!
I'm just imagining, like, your like, commentary, you're like, oh, I'm sure it'll be fine, you know, just like Samus doing that.
Yeah,
for some reason. Like,
see,
she's cool and confident, but then she's like talking like the sweetest person ever, like, are you doing okay?
She like takes off her helmet, she's like, oh sweetie, are you fine? I like that. I actually, a lot of tough people I meet are like really sweet people in real life. You should never judge a book by its cover.
Samus is just tough because she was raised by weird bird people, and you know, they were warriors. So
that's true, and she's got like bird blood in her, right? She's like part bird herself, or chorizo, or actually no, chorizo is a kind of taco meat. It's choro, or she's part bird person, is what I'm trying to say.
Bird. But bird's the word. Not a bird. But bird's the word.
Yes, exactly.
Holy crap, Lois. This was just as bad as the time as when I played Super Metroid and lost to Ridley in the first account.
No, Peter, you're going off the rails again, Peter.
Now we're just being obnoxious, but I don't care, because we're playing Super Metroid, and this
we did a bunch of Among Us references in the Slice 2 episode, so I think it's fine.
Oh yeah. So
Samus looking kind of sus there.
The Doom community, and I think most retro game communities that I'm aware of, thrive off of puns and reused memes. Like that's just what people do, and so forth.
And I love it.
I do too. There's an art to telling a bad joke well, and if you know how to do it, it makes it really funny.
Unfortunately, I don't know how to do it. I just do it and expect and hope people like it.
It takes some timing. I definitely was not good at it when I was 17, so just give it time and practice. Plus, I mean, everyone has a different sense of humor too. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes I'll tell a joke to like a group of people, and everyone will just like look at me and be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I'll be like, "Oh, I don't know."
I used to be kind of edgy, and still am.
I am too.
But to the extent I've started becoming more random as time goes on. I like doing random humor now.
Oh my god, you are so random.
Oh my god, so quirky.
I've actually heard like Sandy say that on his streams, but I don't know what that's a reference to, other than just like teenage, hippie girl or whatever. Say what?
That does seem in character for Sandwich to say.
Oh, sure.
No! I always imagined him as like the younger version of a Half-Life scientist when he does those.
Stop! I'm on the science team!
No! Imagine if you put those sound effects in this. No! I'm with the science team! No! I don't want to die!
Actually, this is kind of related. Oh, hey buddy. Hey, Hi, how you doing up there? My name's Samus, what's yours? Okay,
if we ever get popular, I beg someone to like dub all of Beatbeard's lines here with like an actual kind of Samus voice.
Well, they can probably just feed it to like an AI and then like take my dialogue. I don't know what Samus sounds like, but
you would have to. Samus doesn't really have a voice, so anybody who does kind of cool and kind of confident woman could probably do it.
I'll bet I could get my girlfriend to do some lines, but we'll see about that in time.
We just upload that as like a meme and like randomly. Hey, late April Fools!
I'll give her a girl voice right now. Oh no! Well, actually, no, that's more of a Princess Peach voice. Oh no! Where am I? I'm lost in this. I'm lost in this machine cave.
Duke Nukem. She was Duke Nukem this whole time.
I've come here to kick pirates and eat pirates, and I'm all out of ass. Wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, I love this game.
This is kind of like the opposite of the original Metroid, where it was revealed that Samus was a woman the whole time. Now Samus was Duke Nukem this whole time.
I've come here to destroy the Metroid. Those
I've
alien
actually come
bastards.
to appreciate Duke Nukem more as time goes on.
Oh, sure.
Like, I used to kind of like hate him as a character, but now it's just like, he's more of like harmless. Not like, he's still a little bit, but I think
he's a meme. I mean, he's kind of like, if you've ever seen Army of Darkness, he's kind of a like a parody of the super uber macho kind of action movie star from the 80s and 90s, so to speak. No, you shouldn't take like Duke Nukem seriously, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Ooh, what's down here?
I
didn't even remember that.
I feel Duke Nukem. I've heard someone say this before. I'm not sure where. He's either a honest like love letter to 80s action movies, or he's a parody.
I think it can be both.
I don't know.
I think it can be both. Alright, so you have played a little bit of this before, but not a lot of it, correct?
Yes, I get stuck frequently in Super Metroid. I don't know where to go sometimes.
Okay. It's, I do too. Hopefully, we'll see how long I have to go without consulting a walkthrough. I always have to at some point, so... just got the missiles, and so you probably know how you can use these for, like...
Yeah, you switch, and then put to the pink doors, and then the super missiles are for the, green ones.
Exactly. So we'll see where this
goes. I think I got to, like, the plant boss later, with, like, the, I think that's in Brainstar?
Yes.
There's another one of the buddies. The bloody eyeballs.
Yeah, that one is... I think there's actually a pretty easy way to cheese that one. But we'll see how far we get. I'm playing this during the day, the sun's out outside, it's like 7 o'clock where I am. But I remember the
sun went down just now, it's 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So...
I remember playing this for the first time and seeing those little eyes. And like, even though I'd seen some playthroughs before, that was still like really creepy. I was like, okay, someone's watching me. I'm very uncomfortable. I also
I can't tell if those are like organic or like biomechanical.
That's why it's so like, to me, like, it's very reminiscent of like H.R. Giger stuff, because that's what a lot of his art is all about. It's like, I think someone once said it's like somewhere between like demons and machines, sex and death, which is a really good way to describe like his art style. And that's a very like how I describe this game too.
This does have a very like biomechanical feel.
Oh, sure.
I'd say.
Oh no,
Doom
aliens!
is kind of, since this is the Doom channel, Doom is very mechanical sci-fi first,
Yes.
and then like kind of demon mystical later.
Oh yeah, totally. Well,
Like,
actually,
the enemies could easily fit into like a sci-fi setting, which some of the enemies anyway.
well,
That's
and I
my
also,
kind of big gripe with Doom. My only major gripe is that the enemies don't feel like fantasy or like medieval enough. It just
yeah.
They just feel like it could be like generic alien monsters and not like demons. Not all of them, granted, but like some of them.
Are you talking about Doom or about this game?
I'm talking about Doom.
Okay,
with-
interesting.
Because I'm talking about like the fantasy, like medieval angle. Like I wouldn't put this in like Metroid, but like Doom, since that's about demons, not aliens. You know, obviously the Baron of Hell and like Hell Knights, the Zombie Man could easily fit into like a demon kind of thing.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like something with like the imps, or even like something like the Incubus doesn't always completely fit. So.
Oh, sure, yeah. That's something that I feel like Free Doom tried to fix, because Free Doom has more of like an explicitly science fiction kind of like feel to it, if that makes sense. But my problem with Free Doom is that like I love it for what it is, but the sprites are just like a little crunchy for my taste, and the texture replacements are kind of like feel very cheap. I love Free Doom for like what it provides and for what it represents, and for that I love it, but I do prefer using the Doom assets most of the time.
I feel like it's could be said that there's a difference between like crunchy and crispy. Because we prefer like very crispy things.
It's kind of like
we could use it's like if we had like terminology on this. Vibes Plane Overflow terminology. Crispy sprites are good, crunchy sprites are bad.
That's a great way to put it, Klaesick. It's kind of like the difference between like when graphics or like effects in old movies are charming versus when they're just cheap looking, if that makes sense. So like to me, like a lot of the Evil Dead movies are like, you can see the seams, but you can also see like the creativity, and that's like the charm in them. Whereas with something like, Critters, for example, which is like a super cheap knockoff of what was it? Gremlins, I think. It feels very cheap and not good. So yes, I would like to save my game.
I always thought of like the Deadites. If you just gave them like green hair, like straight from the original Evil Dead, would be like Zombie Man. And I think that was the idea that Software was going for.
Oh yeah, well you actually hit the nail on the head. I mean, I know that John Romero and Tom Hall, I think, were like outspoken like fans of the Evil Dead series, and like especially like Army of Darkness, which is part of the reason the Super Shotgun exists, I think, because if you've ever seen that movie, he's like,
"This is my boomstick."
Yes, exactly. And I think that was
I've
like
never even seen that movie before, but I know about the references because it's like so universal.
Oh, it's so stupid. It's so fun. That's another movie you should really
I recognize a lot of the lines. I've seen some of the scenes. I do want to watch the Evil Dead trilogy. I'm not sure about the new Evil Deads.
Those I've only seen the one from 2013, and it was fine. It's an if you catch it on TV movie, it's fine to see, but I wouldn't go out of my way to see it, if that makes sense.
I feel like with that movie, and what I've seen of it, I've heard it's like what Sam Raimi would have made if he had the budget and whatever.
Oh, sure.
But at the same time, it also doesn't feel like that because it's a bit too it's safe. It doesn't feel Raimi-esque, which is fine. It doesn't have to always be like Raimi, but Raimi kind of made Evil Dead. You can't really separate those. It has the certain like Raimi feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can only he can really make that.
Well, and I think part of the charm of the original is that, wait, oh, I love this. Oh, this is so creepy. I remember finding this guy for the first time, being like, oh god. Oh god.
I know, right?
He's just like, the statue comes alive. It's so unexpected, and it's like,
Samus is just what
it makes
Samus is just like, are you a statue of my parental figure?
Yes, it's like, are you my dad? Oh yes, energy.
I know you aren't my dad. I was just saying that. He's just like joking around as this thing is like.
Oh, he's dripping. It's so gross. It's so gross. I love it. It's so gross and disgusting. Oh. Oh, his head fell off. Oh, that's nasty. Oh god. This definitely has like the feel of like if you ever like find a bug like on the ground and you're like, you see its head come off and it just like wriggles around. It's just like, oh, die already, please. It's like, oh, it's nasty. But that's, oh, it's so good. It's so well constructed. I love it. Oh man.
Speaking of like Samus being sweet, there was I'm kind of into like the Samus X Luigi ship. I officially support that as classic Mario Brothers, or I used to be classic Mario Brother, but you know.
Oh,
there was a post I found. It was just like Samus like threatening this guy. It's just like, no, please don't kill me. You're good. Your head will be better spent if it's still on you. And then she like gets a call for like Luigi, like turns into like the sweetest person ever. And then midway through the call, the space pirate tries to escape. She kills him anyway. He's like, and then you're just like, oh, that was nothing. Just doing work. I'll be over there soon. Love you. I just love that so much.
That is pretty funny. Yeah, I love the idea of like badass characters being like secretly like really sweet, cool people.
I feel like it depends on the character. I don't see like Duke Nukem like being sweet, for example.
Oh,
like
sure.
he's more of like I feel like he's comparable. I've heard somebody use the term man whore, which is like the funniest thing ever.
Man whore, you said?
Yeah, man whore.
That describes him very well.
Yeah,
look at my pecs, baby.
Yeah. He seems like the frat bro, you know, those type of people.
Oh.
That exact stereotype you're thinking.
I knew a lot of them in college. I know exactly the kind of person you're talking about.
And then you have like Caleb, for example. I like him just how the way he is. I don't think he's like literally just like insane.
Wait, who is?
Caleb from Blood.
Oh.
That's my favorite. He's my favorite FPS protagonist, despite me not liking edgy characters very much.
Oh, sure. Well, edgy.
He doesn't like revel and being like serious. He's not like, oh, I'm so edgy. I'm so angry at the world.
Well,
he's like a cackling maniac.
If it's genuine, if it's edginess for a reason, and it really feels like the character is careworn, and you know has had their struggles, so to speak, then it works. I've played a little bit of Blood. I gotta be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of like the build engine as a whole. It's an impressive piece of like engineering achievement for the time, I'll admit, but like
I heard a quote that it's held together by like Elmer glue and duct tape.
I've heard the same thing about the Halo 2 about the Halo 2 engine, where it's like it just barely works. And to me, the Halo 2 engine actually feels really good, but the build engine does not. Whereas like John Carmack made something like really, really solid from like a computer science and engineering perspective with id Tech 1. And I know everyone's glowed about John Carmack till Kingdom Come, but like the sheer amount of advancement like he made to make that, you know, that engine work is
that man is a wizard.
Kind of amazing. I actually did like
if John Carmack killed us all in an alternate timeline with his like computer science skills, I would not be surprised in the slightest. I think Civi 11 said that.
I was about to say that. No, he's like, I swear there's an alternate timeline where he kills us all. I forget what video that was, but yeah, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either, Civvy.
He's more. I know John Romero's like the face, but like John Carmack reminds me of like Yoda from Empire Strikes Back, specifically Empire Strikes Back, because it seems like kind of kooky.
Oh no, totally. I mean, he's very much like a cocky engineer type, and I know the type very well. Very kind of like cynical and cocky, but really knows what they're doing. Which
he's an arrogant kind of asshole, but with the specs enough to back it up, you know.
Yes, it's justified. Also, this is my favorite theme in the whole game. Listen to this jazzy tune. Also, I love these little frog monsters. Oh, it's so fresh. I love it.
Samus just humming that to herself. I know Samus isn't like the speaking type, but it would be interesting if she like hummed the music like Caleb did. Caleb didn't hum the music, but he just did show tune.
Over the lips, past the gums, look out stomach, here I come.
I keep bringing up Samus and Luigi together, but I feel like a better comparison would be Luigi from Luigi's Mansion, where he's like in a lit room and he's just like whistling the theme to himself to keep himself calm.
Oh, sure.
Samus doesn't need to keep herself calm like he does, but you know.
I need to play Luigi's Mansion. I've heard it's really good.
I wanted to. I tried downloading it on my PC a few times, but I didn't know how emulators worked back in the day, so I gave up on that. I haven't given up on playing the game. I'll come back to it. I want to try to come back to it in October specifically, because it feels like the right mood.
Oh yeah, I mean that's when
And it's spooky.
That's when you have that's when you have Halloween coming on, and we've got Tangerine Nightmare, which I'm excited to play for Halloween. Which I've never played, and I'm really excited to get into that one.
I hold like Tangerine Nightmare and Moribund Autumn in like equal regard. I like them both.
You hold what now?
Tangerine Nightmare and Moribund Autumn, or Morbid Autumn. I keep saying Morbid Autumn. You know.
You hold them in high esteem, you said.
In equal regard.
Okay, I can dig it. I'm excited to try both of them. And now I gotta figure out where to go. Sometimes...
On this week's episode of Getting Lost...
Well, hey, we're playing old 90s games that emphasize exploration. We're gonna get lost here.
Games from the 90s? You!
Games in the 90s are my favorite.
No thanks. I love my Call of Duty, man.
Call of Duty.
Getting away from the joking for a second, the only reason I ever played Call of Duty was the zombie part.
Oh, sure. I remember, like, Call of Duty 3, I think, came out when I was, 13. This would have been 2007. And I remember at the time, like, that was, like... I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And looking at it now, it's like the graphics are really like old and bad, and they're not like in a charming and like artistically like this is. They're just bad. And the gameplay too. I mean, some people say that like, you know, the older ones are better, but it was always super one-dimensional in my opinion. Hot take on VPO, which seems to be kind of our thing, I guess. Speaking of which, it's been about half an hour, and I wanted to keep this at half an hour, but, I'm enjoying myself, so if you're up for this, I'm open to do more of a playthrough of this with you.
Yeah, sure. If hopefully our audience is open up to it too.
Yeah, let us know.
Don't worry, we're not getting rid of Doom. We still love it.
This is just supplemental content, because sometimes you get tired of killing demons, so...
Again, it's Doomers are A plot, and these early games are B plot.
Absolutely, so...
Also, once we get through Super Metroid, you'll start seeing talks of it.
Hell yeah.
When there are some mysterious things.
Oh yes. So let us know what you think, and if there's... we hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye bye.
Doing a little dance. Later.